That's the noise you make when you start a stream and you're sleepy. You go, woo, and hope people think that you have a lot of energy. That's all it is. Wee woo, wee woo, wee woo. Hi, Cash. How's the audio balance with the music? I feel like it's like a nice amount in my head. Like my listening experience is very good, but I do want you to be able to hear me, I guess. Audio is fine. Fine like yo ass. Woo! This is for the VOD. Me saying dumb shit. Thank you, live viewers and VOD watchers. Because I am putting these up on the Royal Decree. Well, Jesus, do you think I could, if I had a business name where I could actually pronounce it, that'd be cool. Royal Decree Wellness, YouTube. I just have to think about it. Could I have picked something else? Yes. Is it too late to change it? No. Do I like it? Yes. Maybe we'll shorten to Royal Decree at some point, but wellness then tells you what it is. It'll be QB Fitness in a year. Whatever. Don't worry about it. You got the good headphones on. This says that it's no copyright. Fallout inspired 50 style gaming music. So if we get a strike, I'll be irritated, but also shit happens. If I'm not making the music, you know, what do we do? Cash, hope your day is going great. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And, no, yeah, so we're a one take wonder, even if the take gets fucked up. That's what we do. I'm just going to be on for probably about an hour right now. And then I'm going to take a break. So I'll like stop the stream and then go get some food or whatever I'm going to do. And then come back like 30 minutes later to play some New Vegas because I didn't want to last night because we wanted to watch the first episode of season 2. So thank you for all for bearing with me when I was like, I'll stream, I promise. And then was like, bye. No, I won't. But it happens. And things are going well today. I do feel tired, but everybody's been tired around me. Everyone's been so sleepy and sick. It's been really weird. But whatever. We're getting through, and it's Christmas. Christmas time, Christmas holidays, everybody gets sick. It's just the deal. But I did see the PT, Jackie, legendary PT of Unbroken Academy. See, she's got a good name. It's probably the Unbroken Academy. Jackie's the best. If you're in the greater Louisville area and you need a PT, especially one who's really good for not right post-op, but for like post-op, or if you just have a general injury that you need help with that a coach can't help you with. She's amazing. So I went and talked to her and we ran through this program really quick and we made some adjustments based on how my body is feeling. And also talked a lot about it's like every time I go, she's like, you know, that's not supposed to hurt, right? Like that's not normal. And I'm like, what do you mean? Because apparently my rib cage is super, super tight. You just exist with this stuff all the time and you're like, that's normal, right? For the muscles in your ribs to be like super tender. No, apparently not. So if yours are, you might be carrying stress in your rib cage or have an injury or whatever. But we know I'm a tension holding gal. Wooloo again. Yeah, just starting work. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's just starting. I hope it goes quick. Cash has to cover overnight tomorrow through Sunday. So that's actually a good trade. I would take that. Good shit. I'm happy about that. There'll be lots of cash time around this week. That'll be good. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for the rewatch on Saturday. It's going to be great. I hope you're excited too. Oh, thank you for the lurk, Saucy. You're also working. Yes, that checks out. I'm sorry. I'm in my work clothes with my cool Performance Pro Trainer hoodie. I mean, half zip with this big wide pouch. The pouch is like a full, I don't know. I feel like I could like tuck a baguette in it or something. It's perfect. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. Rib cage is really tight. Left hip flexor being a pain in the ass. Right knee being ouchy. Head, neck, and shoulders always tight. And, you know, the origin... Oh, my shoulders also being a thing, but it's fine. The origins of a lot of these things, you know, what is the chicken or the egg with pain, especially when it's related to, you know, those of us who have depression, anxiety, and stress that then kind of manifest physically. Like, it can be really hard to determine where that feedback started, but it kind of doesn't matter because if you can start to unravel any of it and all of it, often that really helps. So basically the physical therapy that I'll be doing, and I will be starting this program next week in the garage gym. I know it's just one big pouch, Saucy. It's a big pouch. It's a baguette pouch. I'll just start hiding stuff in it during stream and I can pull random stuff out. It'll be great. We're going to start this next week. Because I'll be able to do it all here. And she gave me some really good feedback on stuff to avoid. And this is where, like, you know, I did a great continuing education this year that like talked a lot about programming. It's called Programming Around Pain. It's with Dr. Justin Farnsworth, and he's awesome. But it's only a 2-day seminar, and it's very difficult to talk about pain and like strength training and fitness and health while also getting all of the. Here, I should just switch back to my other camera. I'm just fucking pontificating or whatever it's called. Let me just go full cam for a minute. It's very difficult to talk about pain. And with every single exception to every single rule, there are very few hard and fast rules because we're also different from each other. And there are some, I think I talked about this last time a little bit, that like we have to really honor and value the individual experience and also really take the science and the research seriously and find the middle ground between them where, you know, say science says this, I was over here with science. Science says definitely do X, Y, Z, but you physically don't respond well to that. So we have to go, okay, well, we have to take a slightly different approach. Like what's another well-backed approach that we can do, right? And I'm a lot of the time whenever you're trying to do any kind of education in a short amount of time, you'll get a ton of great information and then also some stuff that doesn't quite apply. You can't just copy and paste it over. So one thing that Jackie has me not doing because my hips are tight and ouchy is foam rolling them. And I recommend foam rolling for my clients all the time as a pain relieving method because it does act really similarly to massage. It like kind of desensitizes the central nervous system because it's controlled applied pressure, like kind of spread over a wide surface area. And it generally can help calm things down. Unless you have a really reactive, ouchy part of your body and the pain is too high, or pressure is not recommended because there's some inflammation. And this is where it gets really difficult for me and where a lot of back and forth is really necessary with my clients because, yeah, foam rolling is great most of the time until it isn't, until it's the exact opposite of what you need. And again, not like a major issue. Like me foam rolling my hips that are cranky and pinchy isn't gonna like put me in the fucking OR for like some, you know, hip replacement or whatever, but it is going to keep them irritated and inflamed longer than they should be. So a lot of my standbys and a lot of my go-tos in my warm-up, she was like, nah, get that out of here. But that's why you go see a PT or you go see somebody who has more education than me for these kinds of things. And I just do the best that I can if you're working with me as your coach. And the more I keep being injured and going to see Jackie, the better coach I think I get. So that's a long ramble about pain and how your individual pain needs and the formula to help you. Again, there will be some really good, excellent scientific methods that will help you, but also sometimes the thing that it just really depends on like kind of who you're working with. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I'm rambling a lot. You learn a little bit more every day. That's all I know. Couch has got a snack pouch too. Critical thinking and reasoning, trial and error. Larika, caw. Every time I see all the crows in my neighborhood, I think of you. But yeah, anyway, so I changed a couple things up. So I'm going to go through really quickly and review. And then the other thing I'm going to do today is write Marlon's programming because we're coming up. I'm a big New Year's resolution person and not just, you can start new goals anytime, right? Like I do constantly. It's like a problem. Too many things all the time. But I like this turnover because most of us are just getting through this, like, I was about to say shitty time of year. I'm such a... What a bah humbug of me. No, I like the holidays are fine. I tend to get a little bit of downtime, but also like any of you who are in the streaming communities know this tends to be a little bit grindy. Boo, thank you for the subscription. And then tends to be a little bit grindy. And then I feel like we kind of get through this like sprint of like, you know, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, where there's events, lots of socializing, the weather gets weird, everything gets shitty and weird, but also good, also great. And then there's this kind of clean slate in January. Angela Kari. Oh my gosh, I don't have my glasses on. I'm so sorry if I misread someone's name. I will allow Zariah's murder. So I'm a personal trainer, a strength and conditioning coach. So I predominantly, I do all sorts of stuff. I also do a lot of yoga. I've got mostly people on barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, body weight, calisthenics and, strength and mobility, blah, blah, blah. Lots of, no, I don't want to say too many 3 sets of 10 kinds of things, but that's usually what I take care of for people. I also will, incorporate plyometrics and cardio and endurance training and, whatever you need to support your needs. So it's very custom and individual. But I also, this year I took a year off from horseback riding because of a shoulder injury. I think I would be fine in the saddle, but I was worried about handling horses and getting yanked because this arm does not do well with unpredictable movements, especially if they are out away from my body. And horses like to go, yeah, fuck you. That happens occasionally. It's very rare, and I've been handling horses for a long time, but I just was like, let's not fuck it up more. So, but yes, Angela, tell me about you. Oh, yes. Cool. I just took some pole for the first time a little bit ago and I loved it. Also, booth 42 months. I need to shout that out. That's incredible. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Angela, pole, incredible. And also twerk. There's a great studio in Louisville and I really enjoyed the pole classes, pole dancing. Oh, we're doing great. And I kept trying to go to the twerk. It's just far enough away from me and I am a chronic overdoer of things. I just have so much stuff on my list. So next year, hopefully I'll be able to make it back for twerk. But yeah, I love it. Zariah, I'm great. How are you? I'm going to get very distracted saying hi to everybody. It's a murder pen. Yay. See, we have to allow murder so we can talk about the crows. I'm doing all right. As you can tell, English is hard today. But I would say basically like for me, what I do, professionally is, lots of stuff. I work at a gym that's personal trainer only. So you'll only ever see clients in there with coaches. Either they might be in small groups or one-on-one. So it's just like very organized and chill. And it's a fabulous place to work. It's called Performance Results in Louisville. I'm wearing my hoodie, my zip up. It's great. I love it. I've been there for almost 3 years. But as far as like what I recommend individually, I recommend movement that you like, that doesn't hurt you, that you can afford, that you will do regularly. If you've got something in there that puts on muscle mass and bone density, and also improves cardiorespiratory health, great. But if not, like, I don't know, if we don't like, I don't care. As long as you feel good and you're happy. Anything that relieves stress is a big winner too. I think that's also a lot of people. I do recommend not overdoing it. Whatever it is, you don't need to go too crazy. Favorite yoga pose? Oh man, Shavasana probably. Lay on the floor and breathe. What do I like? I really like when you get to a point where down dog does feel like a rest posture because, especially because I have some issues with this shoulder, being able to be in an inverted position where I feel very strong and sturdy and like I'm getting some strength building and getting everything to kind of just like change the way that I think about my body and how it's posed. I'm a classics girl. I don't do anything too crazy. I like tree a lot. I don't know all the proper names for things, but tell me what yours is. And yes, yeah, and tell me what kinds of things you're doing in pole. I don't know the names of everything, but I was just doing sexy bananas. We were doing sexy bananas and a couple like step out, spin around. I only went to a couple classes again because I'm trying to do too much stuff all the time and it's a real issue, but I really liked it. Glutes isolation. Okay. Yay. Oh, I bet the pole class version of the glute isolations are pretty excellent. I would like to show up for that. All pole dancing studios are always just amazing too. They're like, the one here is like very, very queer friendly, extremely queer friendly, very women run, very just like, and very accepting and open. And they're kind of the kinds of spaces I feel very happy and comfortable in. So as they should be, and as all gyms should be, but not enough are. So we take the pole dancing, we take the pole gym model all the time. Yes. Straddle and removing and isolating. Oh yes. Ooh, that sounds great. Very fun. Excellent. Oh my God. That sounds great. Cash downward nap. Also good. I mean, Shavasana is great. Okay. Oh fuck. Sorry. I hope you didn't see anything weird on my desktop. Probably not. Okay. So I'm happy to deviate as much as possible to like, please talk to me and also ask me questions and also tell me how your day is going and talk to me more about crows and about yoga and about sexy pole dancing stuff because it's my favorite. And I really do hope to do more. And actually that is one thing that I will be doing in the garage. We're going to formally just call it the garage gym. In the garage. I will be trying some like YouTube dance classes. I did teach Zumba for a hot minute, just like 6 months until my body started to literally crumble because I was working like 12 hours a day and then teaching Zumba and I was not eating enough and was not resting enough and was not strong enough to maintain the pace I was keeping because that's where you get stronger is in your recovery and your rest and your nutrition and hydration and all of those things. And I am somebody who does not recover well. So that was, and it also just like wasn't a good return on my time financially at the time, but I really loved it. And I did very slutty Zumba. So I'm sure I'll bust out some of that. I basically remember all the choreography to all of my main tunes. So that'll be really fun. Crow pose is cool. And splits, sounds like you could do a lot more acrobatic things, especially if you're also doing pole. If you've been doing it for a while, I'm very impressed. This is good stuff. I'm not very, I don't do a lot of balance things and I can do like a pretty solid warrior 3. That's about as wild as we get. And I can do like bow or archer, whatever that one's with the foot behind you. But I can't get my foot up super high. I'm not super flexible, but I love it. And I always admire when people are good at that. Slutty Zumba does sound like a squid name. Where is Squidward? Oh, good, Lorika. Yes, this little crow took the day off. Oh, I'm telling you, everybody. We need all the sleep. Pelican, hello. I hope you're doing well too. I don't know what the glute isolations are for in the pole dancing sense, but I definitely do a lot of, we do a lot of booty work in this house and at my gym. Poor all the men who work with me, I say ironically, because obviously I'm very good about giving people what they want for their programming, I think. But all the men who train with me do way more lower body than they expect. And I'm like, yeah, I want you to be able to stand up really well for the rest of your life. And a lot of them have low back pain. And I'm like, you know what often helps with that? Stronger glutes. So we do a lot of glutes. Speaking of which, okay, so this is my, what I'm setting up for myself for the next 12 weeks starting next week. I'm getting back into things really slowly because I've had like 5 months off, 4 months, I don't know, time's an illusion, since August. I had really intense, heavy, like 4 days a week, 90-minute intense, like dynamic, like heavy lifting and dynamic work and cardio. I got, from a coach earlier in the year. So I had like 4 months of like pretty intense training, and then just have been kind of having a reckoning the rest of the year with how much stress my body carries. And just, I know I'm not trying to talk too much about myself. I'm just trying to say these things in case they really relate to you as well. So how much stress my body carries, how that physically manifests, how it affects my recovery, how it affects my ability to output energy and to lift well, and what my priorities need to be around training and what I should really be focusing on so that I can be successful and not, perpetually be breaking down my immune system too much, being under recovered, et cetera, et cetera. So after going to see Jackie, we're pulling off foam rolling hip flexors, removing for now, again, like I was talking about a little bit ago. Foam rolling is something I typically do for pain relief for a lot of people, but with what's going on with mine, they are inflamed and ouchy in a specific way at end ranges of motion, which isn't a part of the way you foam roll them. You're just laying on your side on it, but it is high intense pressure and it doesn't need that right now. So we're gonna just be foam rolling quads. I'm trying to remember if this looks right. It does. Yeah. Foam rolling quads, T-spine and lats. I'm doing lats specifically because they tend to be tight for me. Hip flexor stretch is still fine because it's mobilizing something in a pretty gentle way. It's not end range of motion. We think knee tucked up. So the right one's fine. Left one's a little bit pinchy when I bring it all the way up. This hip flexor stretch with the rear foot elevated slightly is very chill. Bird dogs for core, banded glute bridges for a little bit of rear kinetic chain activation. And then I've got an iso hold overhead reach to a drop down, which is just my nervous system activator. So that's all good, but we're going to scratch the hip flexors for now. Where's the strikeout on? I don't know, whatever. I will learn that later. Primers. And this is designed to be able to be done at my home gym or at the gym where I train, which is great. Pelican, it's true. We love the glute exercises. Especially, yes, squats. We love our hip thrusts. We love our RDLs. We love our deadlifts of all varieties. They are the best. TRX rows, goblet squat with pause, just greasing up all the wheels. This is just good general, keeping things light, moving through ranges of motion. So we are priming them specifically for the pulls and squat movements that we're going to do for our main lifters, our main lifts. Single leg wall sit was swapped for split squat, iso hold, split squat, iso hold. A little bit intensive and lots of bend. So she was like, too intense, back it off a little bit, bring in a single leg wall sit because I can modify it pretty well. So that's one thing that got swapped out. And then for the workout for this day, supersetting barbell back squat to the bench. I like having the control, sitting on a bench, especially for training by myself. Highly recommend because then you've got a good safety net. And then a kettlebell bent over row with rotation. My shoulder's really happy with rotation and I really like those. So that works really well. And I'll already have the bench out and set up for my squats. Easy peasy. I swapped in, so the other thing that was recommended, this is the other thing I forgot, because of the way that my hip has been hurting, she was like, stay off of single leg for a little bit and do a lot of bilateral. So, both feet planted and have a little wider stance at times. And I'm even thinking about this when I'm walking, to have my legs not cross and sleeping. So I'm trying to not have my legs, I'm trying to use a pillow between my knees to keep things kind of hip width apart so that things can just get a little bit chilled out and not so much because when you tend to cross over, you get internal rotation of the leg, and it can cause tightness. And again, these aren't things I'm mentioning to make sure that you're stressed about them. Make sure you walk perfectly all the time. That's not the thing. Our bodies should be able to do all sorts of stuff. But when we get into frequent repetitive patterns of motion, they can cause a reaction that's a little bit negative or ouchy. So, squeeze and okay, wait, Angela, I'm so sorry. Squeeze and release the glutes one side at a time. Yeah, that sounds great. That's what it sounded like you said. Yeah, perfect. Also, if you're doing twerking is a lot of controlled, from my limited practice and exposure, a lot of keeping things active and also relaxed at the same time, and how you control contraction and relaxation. And yeah, just A lot of people are not, if you go to like squeeze a certain part of your glute, especially that like middle, that's why I do lots of iso holds for people, especially ones that target glutes. There's weird little ones that are great. So yeah, big fan. Sorry, reading Lorika. Didn't need it. I just don't do too much outside of work. So I had no plans, decided to kill time with sleep. Okay. Well, that's good then that you don't have the weird sick that everybody has is making them tired. Also, it's just like nice. It's just good to sleep. That's okay. Pelican, yes. Yes. Ooh, okay. So you're like, you've got the shape for a deadlift, the proportions. Yes. Wow. Yeah, a 440 pull for the third time. That's pretty fucking good. Yeah. Sounds like you found your niche. Shit. That's great. Fucking proud of you. Good stuff. I haven't been doing them in a while. And they're not on this program, so it'll be, well, I have RDLs on, but this is different. Okay, so we've swapped over. I'm doing a weighted bridge, hip thrust variation. Like I can do something single leg. Oh no, I'm not supposed to be doing single leg. Just kidding. I just said that. That was one that I left that I was just like, figure it out. Because I have the bar, I think I was going to grab and I was typing this in really quickly. So I can do some barbell hip thrusts. That'll be fine. Probably keep these a little light. We'll do like a 3x10. And that was instead of the single leg landmine single leg RDL that I had on. Again, because I'm supposed to be focusing a little more on good planted 2 feet to get a lot of stability, especially if you've got tendon or ligament issues. Like, make sure that you've got lots of time under load. Tendons adapt best with lots of time under tension, which is why isometric holds are so good for them. So we've got too much isolated focus side to side if I go to single leg. So getting a little heavier on both, going nice and slow, lots of control. That's where we're going to be at. That was me hip thrusting off camera. I was still gonna, okay, so that I have the Meadows row set up here, but if I'm gonna do barbell hip thrust, then I should not be doing landmine. So we're not gonna do any landmine this time. That means I have to think about what that is too. Oh yeah, so, and then I'm working in some of my PT. So this bear plank toes on bench, it really will only make sense when you see it. Well, you're in like a bear plank with using your feet to lift yourself off. I guess it's not that hard to picture, but if you don't know what a bear plank is, it's a little weird, but I'll be doing progressive variations of those. I'm doing 3x5 breaths right now, just in and out. But there are other ways to make it more challenging over time. Yes, woo, landmines, Taliscan. I'm gonna not do that right now. We're gonna do something else. But I would like another rowing thing for this day. Although maybe I fucking don't. Honestly, like with the way I've been feeling recently, part of me is just like, just scrap it. Just get it out of there because we've got the row with rotation. I'll think about it. We'll come back. That might be one that I don't know. You're watching me in real time. Figure things out. So this guy gets to stay. Foam rolling glutes fine. Foam rolling pecs okay. Good ass pigeon pose. No. LOL tendon is mad. No end rage right now. That's all the notes you need. So no good ass pigeon. That's fine. Adductor rock backs were fine. Bear crawls we swapped in. Or I included them. She said they were fine. Whatever. I don't have good notes when I make changes. So I need to do like different colors or something. And twitchy jacks for muscle nervous system activator. This one, single leg RDL with hand assist, is just body weight. She said don't do it for a week or two so that the stuff can settle down. My hip is already feeling a lot better, so these will probably feel okay. And I can really modify them to be pretty chill. We don't have to go very far back. It basically just becomes a balance pose, and that's pretty safe. It's like kind of a gentle, almost isometric hold. Isometric holds are nice and safe. We know that. So then eccentric push-ups, because we're doing some pushing, and push-ups still feel okay even with how my shoulder is. Swap to new stuff. So then shoulder PT now, because I'm trying to get it in at least twice a week, if not 3 times. Looks like prone lateral lifts, I guess I'll say. 3 times 10, 5-second holds each. I'm literally laying face down with 2 pounds in each hand, and I lift them up like this much. I'm just like lifting, trying to set my shoulders down, lift, and relax. It looks really funny, but it's actually fucking super hard. Stuff like that is always secretly the fucking hardest thing. You want me to pull a bunch of weight on a deadlift? Great, I'll fucking get ready. You want me to lay on the floor and just be like, hold your arms out? Yeah. It's really hard. I'm shaking like very quickly. So good indication it's something I need to work on. So we're doing that. Then we're doing our little bear plank, toes on bench. We'll say 3x5 breaths for now. And then we're doing, oh, sorry, this is probably very small. I've been fucking this up. I am so sorry. How about that? Is that a little bit better? Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry the first half of this VOD that this has been tiny. My apologies. Now you can read it, hopefully. Oh my God. Professional ass shit. Rows take a lot of energy because your lats are really big. They wrap around a huge part of your body. They cross over, connect to like your glutes. They're huge. They're really big. That's why deadlifts take a lot of energy, because your lower body muscles are big. They literally take more ATP to do shit. That's part of it. But I like rows. I don't know. It must be some like stock of people that's like from some high country in Ireland or something that's like, yes, I will pull the sheep over the mountain or what, I don't know, some pulling something. Also, I did grow up horseback riding, and you're always in like a rowing position. I didn't row though. I was not on the crew team. Sorry, we can see stuff. I'm so sorry. I am new to this particular thing. Okay. Think about life decisions that brought you here. Exactly. And then you make them harder by moving your hands farther away from the bench, so that eventually you're just in like a regular plank position. And then also you can do like pulses where you lift your tailbone up, and you can do single hand and single leg and all sorts of shit. That stuff is great for you. Cash, the first step is thinking about it. I'm proud of you. Also, Lex, thank you for the lurk. We love you. Again, I hope you don't have to work too much. Hopefully you can come back soon. Yes. That's Pelican, and you're hauling ass out here with your deadlifts and your rows. Yeah, I find they tend to be a little bit of like I'm like pretty good. I like to row. I do all right. And once you have that strength, once you've lifted that heavy with things, like even if you stop for a while, you get back to it really quickly because your body knows and remembers that you can do it, which is cool because our brains are weird. Okay, and then we've got a side laying heavy iso holds. 3 times 60 seconds currently. This one's one that is not perfect at my house because I'm using a 30-pound weight right now, which we'll probably progress up to 40 or 45 before we switch it. And I don't have anything that heavy currently, but I've got kettlebells that are decently heavy, and we can make it work. So that's my PT right now, is my little wings. And then breath work stuff, which I'll add into the end actually. Cool down is actually not going to be that anymore. It's going to be Pilates ball, side laying breaths. 5. Whoopsies. Whoops. This is all my PT. Also, because I have a history of panic attacks and anxiety, like box breathing was not recommended recently. It's also, if it works for you, it's fine. But holding breath for a long period of time, it's like, maybe we don't do that. Maybe we focus on actually just being really, really relaxed. That's a lot of this. And then, let's see, Pilates ball, front laying breaths. These are very technical names. 5. And then, what's the last one? I was just doing it today. You think I'd remember? Oh, rib expansion breaths. 5 per side. Super, super chill. Not a lot of stuff. The rib one, I don't have good technical names for these. I'm literally like laying on my back and very gently putting my fingertips under my rib cage. And as I inhale, I very gently pull and then relax. And then I scooch a little farther down towards my side body. And I'm just kind of going along my rib cage, a breath at a time. So I'm close to the center, farther out, farther out, farther out. That makes sense. And this is just because this shit is so tight. And because when this shit's tight, it's connected to fucking everything. So everything else gets tight. And I already have a tendency to get tight. So that's going to be our cool down right now. It's very easy. The Pilates ball side laying, I've got this little squishy ball. You'll see it all next week that I place under the ribs and expand out, breathing into the other opposite side. Again, we're thinking about pushing out into the ribs, getting the ribs to be a little more mobilized. And the front laying one, I tuck it into this little, we have this little, where the base of your ribs are, where it starts to be your diaphragm and intestines and all that good stuff and everything else that's in there, setting the ball there and either laying on it on the floor or putting it on my knees and just bending over it for a little less pressure. It's very specific. And this is where like PT can be interesting because it's like, it's not a lot of stuff, but like it's already making a huge difference, which is pretty crazy. Nightstorm, hello! Good morning! Yes. Pelican, no wonder you're so fucking strong. That's crazy that you did water polo and also are such a like heavy lifter. That's cool because I feel like water polo players, I picture like, not that swimmers aren't strong as shit, but I don't think of it as like a raw strength output thing. I think of it as a lot of endurance and a lot of like lean muscle mass. You know what? I'm using that generically. So that's fucking cool. You can do it all. That's amazing. Also, Nightstorm, I hope you're doing great. Thank you all for showing up while I just like ramble about my work. This is very exciting. Okay. So So I've got shoulder PT on this day, and so on this other day on my squat pull, I have the bear plank toes on bench by itself. And then with these guys, just getting that in an extra time because that has some of the most force output of anything that I'm doing. And I'm able to do it at home. So the side lying heavy iso technically could be like the heaviest thing I do for PT currently, but I just can't do it at home as much. So I'm going to sneak more of those in. Gets good pressing mechanics in, feels really good to do, is helping a lot. Day 2, hinge push, barbell RDLs, pistol crunches are just a variation that I like. And we talked about, again, I swapped in for something here. Spanish squat reverse lunges. We're swapping and removing. My notes are so helpful. Swap or remove. Remember that you want less good things when you are dealing with pain. You want 5 good exercises versus 17 that don't support your current needs. This is just good PT wisdom that we're passing down. Less is more. So swapping out, that's one thing I need to do today. Swap out the Spanish squat reverse lunges. And I added in slow ass kettlebell goblet squats with pause. I actually think that's what I swapped in for it. And there's just a really long note because we want to help create sustained contraction of the tendon playing with the tempo instead of the load because I don't have a lot of heavy things here. So we're going to go nice and slow. We're going to do like a 4 or 5 countdown. It's going to be great. It's going to actually fucking be really hard. And it's not going to be a huge range of motion just for the sake of my hips, but we'll go nice and slow. We'll take it serious. Banded wall sit also for a little bit of outward contraction of the lateral hip. So I've got the single leg wall sit on that other day that sneaks in a little bit of single leg and also helps with lateral hip stability and quad strengthening, which is good for my knees. And this one, I mean, it does what it kind of does what we think it would do, right? If you put a band around your knees, so your body has to do this a little bit, otherwise it will collapse in because it will resist that pressure. Then the muscles along your hip and your glute that go down laterally, they have to work a little hard to keep these out, right? That's not a pushing mechanism from inside. It's these muscles going, yeah, and keeping things out. So very good for me currently with needing to strengthen glutes and hips and all that good stuff. And then landmine shoulder press, that is the day that I'll set the landmine up because these two can get set up and won't interfere with each other. And I had lateral step-ups on the bench there from last time we did this. That's a really heavy single leg thing. It does technically work a lot of the same stuff. It's just more advanced than I need when I'm dealing with pain and irritation. And then I'm going to do my little breathing stuff and that's it. Any questions? Any questions on my shit? I'll go through it all one more time kind of slowly. And then we'll move on because the other thing I wanted to do today was make Marlin stuff, which will be really fun to do. So, and actually so this is just my first 4 weeks. Sorry. This is 4 weeks. Not going to do this for 12 weeks. We will swap it around, but I will consider doing things for more like 8. So I've got this on 1 to 4, but I'm going to really check in at that 4-week mark and see. Mostly what I'll be doing is making adjustments. My PT will get progressed and I'll be making adjustments for boredom. If I'm still feeling good about a lot of stuff, especially like the back squats and the RDLs, there's no reason to not do those for 8 weeks or even 12, depending on how I'm feeling. As long as they still feel like a challenge and we're seeing progression in the right way, less things, more for a good duration can be really, really good, especially if we know what I need to work on. So warm up, foam rolling the quads, foam rolling T-spine and lats, hip flexor stretch gently. Bird dogs, my weird variation that's a little more about spinal stability as opposed to flexion and extension. Banded glute bridges for just because I like that level of difficulty works well for me. And my iso whole overhead reach to drop down. I think actually one last thing that I'll sneak in this day because I've gotten rid of the hip flexors is just some cat cow. Because I love cat cow. And it's very good for you. There's a banded variation I can do as well if I want. Band. If wanted, if desired. So that'll be nice. And this might seem like a really long warm up, but it's very targeted. It doesn't take very long. And it also gives me a really good time to gauge how I'm feeling. And also if something's really tight or really sore, like take your time on your warm up. Your warm up's like your warm up and your cool down. Really the bookends of everything you're doing. It's the same thing with your pickup and your put down on a lift. Like that's the important stuff. The stuff in between, once we're going, we can go. I just heard something really nice happen. What just happened? Oh my God, Taliscan! Would you start the extra life? Oh my God, wait, is that $50? I cannot fucking see. I need glasses. I need to go up to $50. Taliscan, you have so many things on Asana that you get. Also, while I'm talking about it, I'll shout this out a lot later since this is like fitness time. Taliscan and I are going to be playing Ambition of Minuet and Power this weekend, tomorrow and Sunday for many hours. And we're going to just be as chaotic as possible. And we're going to be rolling dice to see what happens and deciding to take random choices and pursue different things. Like we're going to roll dice to see if we go with different factions and it's going to be amazing. And Taliscan is amazing. And if you didn't know that, You do know now because Taliscan just donated Extra Life, and I love you so much. And that gets you a bunch of stuff. Please let me know what you want. Oh, wait, sorry. Let me get caught up on chat a little bit too. You all are the best. But yes, night. Oh, that sounds like it's going to be a good temperature too. We are like, it's very warm here today. I really don't need this sweatshirt on, but here we are. PT was for your back a lot, Lorica. Okay. Strongest legs he'd ever worked on. That's a really good compliment. Position you played. Okay. Because 90% of it was trying not to drown by the, okay. That's great. Yeah. So you got to be really strong. I see. Recommended to not drown in water polo. I also agree. Okay. Question. How long do I usually tend to spend per workout? For you, it tends to be 2 hours. Not 2 hours. No, not for me. That works great for a lot of people, especially it sounds like you're doing really heavy lifting. If you're doing heavy ass shit, take your time. Warm up well, like inappropriately. I know for powerlifting, which really sounds like more the direction you're going, if we're thinking kind of classic, you know, you don't do a lot of stretching starting out, but you do want to warm up really specifically. Things like, you know, foam rolling, getting your core active, doing a couple light reps of your prime exercise, whatever, primary focus, whatever we want to call it. But you need shit tons of rest if you're going to do that. If you're going to be pulling 440 pounds plus, you need to fucking chill a lot in between. These are designed to be 45 minutes or less. I have a notes thing. Here's my notes. Priorities. Hit the 6 fundamental movement patterns. This is for me, and this is also for a lot of my clients. Most of my clients I see for like an hour at most. Most of them I see for 45 minutes because people are busy and it's hard to get to the gym. So 6 foundational movement patterns. I'm restarting training after a long break. I want 2 days per week, no higher than 6 rate of perceived exertion. Want to be able to do these at my home gym or at work, 45 minutes or less. I'm doing 20 to 30 minute walk every day or as often as I can. Yoga, 20 to 40 minutes, 3 to 5 days per week, and shoulder PT 3 days per week. So that's between everything. I just don't do it all at once. That doesn't tend to work very well. I'm like legitimately, my biggest issue with working out for fucking even 90 minutes was I was fucking hungry. Like you have to take a snack break if you're me. And like, honestly, most people, you'll see people with like a good, like a beverage that has a lot of like sugars in it. Or people are caffeinated as shit, which I don't necessarily recommend. Again, if it works for you, it's fine. Just be careful. All right. Cause there's a lot of caffeine and shit. And you want to actually be fueled to do stuff. So, I need to like have a fucking banana. One of my coworkers who does a lot of powerlifting, I will see him just like cramming a bagel in his face partway through his workout, which is very funny to me. But so I'm 45 minutes or less. My stress level is super, super high. Working out for 2 hours, not recommended for me, not recommended for someone starting out, not recommended for somebody who doesn't recover well. If you're training for 2 hours, if you're doing that a bunch of days a week, even like 2, that's intense. That's depending on what you're doing. Again, because if you're just like chilling on the treadmill, like walking for 45 of those minutes, like, yeah, that's a little bit of a different story. But if you're working out hard for 90 minutes plus, if you're doing heavy shit, your body's getting a ton of breakdown and you need to fucking fuel and recover and sleep really well and all those things to maintain that over a long period of time and actually see the gains and results that you're looking for. And I don't recover well. This is a thing that we're having a come to the old gods moment. Cthulhu was like, bitch, you don't fucking ever tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. What are you doing? Go fucking lay down and eat something. So we're doing, very achievable goals is part of this. Very, very attainable is a big, big part. I'm like 45 minutes is a nice amount of time. That includes the warm up. So I'm doing like 35 minutes. It'll probably turn into an hour. On streams, I'll draw it out and I'll chill. But if I'm thinking about just setting up to do this workout without any distraction or as little as, my brain has, on its own, we're thinking 45 minutes. And that's a good amount of time. 30 minutes is great if you do it right. And my objectives, stacked glutes, quads, and hammies, because I want to like have fucking hot shit sometimes too. But I also just want to be out of pain, mostly. Less knee pain. Also calves. We have to work on the calves at some point. I forgot about them. It's not that I care if my calves are that hot. I'm sure they are, just like all of our calves are very sexy right now. Did you not know that your calves are the most sublime, sensual part of your body? I just need them to be strong because I know that I have foot ankle stuff that I want to make sure is good. Just because I want that that's just a run-of-the-mill thing for everybody. Relieve shoulder pain, maintain upper body strength. So I'm not in like a building phase, and build cardiovascular endurance. So do some speed training for fun, which I'll add in later. That'll be when the weather starts to get nicer. Yes. Dancing at the club all weekend, random hookups and dancing at the club is great exercise. And also nice for me. Yes, trying not to drown in general is very important. We appreciate that. Hip flexor and glute workouts from that routine. Oh yes, it's true. Yeah. Add that to the list of my top 10 sluttiest exercises. Woo. A snooty diva. Question RE warm up. Okay. When I was lifting heavy, my warm up was like 15 minutes on a treadmill, then to lifting, had no issues, but as older now and going back, should I be doing more like your list? I've definitely, I know I've had this same question brought to me a lot. Especially, or when I first have a consult with clients and they talk about going to the gym and they're like, I'm like, what do you do for your warm up? And they're like, oh yeah, I just walk for a few minutes. And it is definitely better than nothing. 100%. I would say 15 minutes is like tops what you'd want to be doing. You'd kind of want to just be getting into that, like I call it the dew point, when you start to get like a tiny bit sweaty, just like it starts to be like, you can tell your skin is starting to kind of break over that threshold of getting sweaty. Like before that, or just reaching that, you don't want to be like dripping in sweat and tired, because if you are warming up to strength train, you want your strength training to be the thing that has the most reserve energy for. That's the thing that you do first after warm up. You want, if you're doing heavy lifts, you want to do those first because they take the most energy. They might not feel like it. You know, we go run for an hour or whatever, run for 15 minutes, and that feels really, really like intensive. There's a lot of cardio response and you're sweaty and you're like working hard versus like doing a bunch of heavy bench press might be like, it's really hard in the moment, but you're not usually left like dripping sweating, but it's still a lot of fucking energy to do. And if you want to be able to do it really well, you want to have that like present glycogen supply, you know. It depends on when you ate and what you're doing and all that. But especially as we age, I recommend at any age, realistically, to have a targeted warm up. First of all, be warmed up. Yes. Second of all, what's your intention for the day? What are we trying to get? What are we trying to work on? Are we doing full total body? Are we doing just upper body? Are we doing endurance? Are we doing plyometric stuff? Are we doing agility? Are we doing heavy deadlifts? Like, you know, what is it? What is our intention for that day? Are we just going to move around a little bit? I would say that's where it becomes like really not as important, where if you're just trying to include more activity and you know that you can go hop on an elliptical or a treadmill for 10 or 15 minutes and get warm and then do a couple machines or a couple free weights or whatever it is you're doing and it feels good, I'm not going to question that because that's all good stuff. If you're wanting, I don't like the word optimize because I think it gets co-opted by too much broy, weird rise and grind shit. But if you are wanting to optimize on your time and really honor your intention of that day, if you have structure that you're following through on, you will have something that looks at least a little more like mine. It might not include the foam rolling. It might include different stretching. It might include different variations of some things, you know, different core exercises, or it might not have like a, you know, a wacky nervous system primer. That's something that I just like because it is very jolting. It gives you a lot of like an energy boost right before it kind of gets your body going, oh shit, we're going to do something. It's better than a cup of coffee. It's great. And it takes like 4 seconds. So I like that. But yes, I try to always do a warm up that is like, what am I doing for am I squatting today? I'm doing a warm up that gets me ready to squat. Am I doing RDLs and hinges? or hip thrusts. I do something that gets those muscles a little more active in a specific way. You'll see a little bit of everything here. Like we've got the glute bridges on this day because it is also important to have like I said, your rear kinetic chain. So like your glutes down to your heels, essentially, like your lower body rear kinetic chain, to have that stuff awake as well. Also, that does a second thing aside from like kind of balancing our front body, like getting the hip flexors and the quads a little bit desensitized and ready to move, getting the rear kinetic chain awake. Also, the fuck was I just going to say? Did you see my brain just shut off? Oh, it also sneaks in that movement pattern another time during the week. So I want to be activating my glutes a couple times a week. Glute isolating. Wherever, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting people's names because I'm being terrible and if I don't say them. Angela, you know, we're talking about those glute isolations in the pole class, right? You want to be doing that a couple times a week anyway. So if I sneak it in here, it's at a pretty low intensity, right? Sorry, that's probably a very long, oh, bagels are good. Very long answer to your question. I would say, you're getting all, yes, the posterior chain. We love her. I would say I'm a real big fan of doing a warm up that's specific to what you're doing. I would say that that's really nice. This kind of stuff feels great. There's a reason I do it. It feels really good to do. And I feel really ready to do the tasks I'm about to do. There is no question to me. I also, again, like I was saying earlier, if I go to like do my goblet squats in these muscle primers and I'm like, my knees are fucking feeling hot or my hip flexors feeling weird, like I can't go super low, or I just feel fucking worn out, I'm like, oh, this isn't a good day to do something heavy. Like I can gauge in that moment, like, do I need to redirect what I'm focusing on, or are we good to go? Or is this a day where I'm like, okay, cool, we're going to take that bar up a little bit. Like it gives you a lot of information for the tasks ahead of you. Because I'm a very, you know, you're never going to see me putting like must increase weights by 5 pounds this week or whatever. Like, no, I'm fucking stressed. My body's all over the place. We're going up and down a lot. Every day is a new day where I might be like, I can't fucking do it. And I just do the warm up and then I do everything really light. Or I just do the warm up and I'm like, that's all I got in me today because my body is just like, go lay down. You're making me crazy. So that's part of the reason I like this stuff as well, because it gives you a really good opportunity to check in, to get your breathing centered, all that good stuff. Does walking do that? To some degree, yes. Not a bad choice. I would say I'm just a fan of this personally. Gotta get you a bagel. I know. Sajin is amazing. I'm sure I will have him on as a guest at some point in the garage. He's fucking awesome. He's one of my favorite. I love all my coworkers. He's one of my favorites, though, for sure. He's great. But yeah, he'll just have like a Costco bagel and he's just like eating it. And then he does a bunch more deadlifts. It's really funny. Like, I have a good time at the store. I'm so sorry that I missed that. Pause between sets can be like 3 to 4 minutes. Yes. Yes. Pallet Cannon. Yes. You're doing it right. The caffeine lifter. If it works for you, I'm not going to judge. I just know there's a lot of guys. There's a lot. Just be careful because caffeine does affect your central nervous system. It is a stimulant. Even if you're like, I don't feel it, it's still there. It's still there. And I know, again, there's also like, we need she scientists here to talk about, because there's certain people that metabolize it a little differently. It is still there in your system though. It's still there. Just be careful. Max RPE. I have never done, this is probably going to seem like a wild thing at almost 3 years in. I have never done a 1 rep max with a client. I do not train powerlifting. So you will almost also, because myself included, most general population, we're not out here training for 1 rep maxes. That's really not, it can be fun to do, but training for a 1 rep max is like not something that most people see the most benefit from day to day. Like, again, it can be really fun to do. Like, Pelican is out here fucking going hard on fucking deadlifts and all sorts of shit and just being a badass. Like, I'm sure they've done a 1 rep max and like worked up to it, but like, no. Also, we kind of think about that practically. Like, how am I going to get, like, what am I going to do? Be like, all right, let's put the heaviest weight on your back and tell me out of 10 what that is. Like, no, I just go like, we like to say, what's this? I think I got this from Sajin. Gun to your head. A 10 is you still couldn't do another rep. Or you could maybe do 1 more. Life or death. Twitch is going to ban me for being violent. I'm not. But this is the metaphor. It's a metaphor. So I like to think that a 6 RPE for me is that, like, by the time I'm done with my reps, I kind of don't want to do anymore. I'm feeling like I've worked hard and I'm like, oh yeah, we're good. We've worked hard. I could do 2 to 5 more depending on what it is. But I kind of don't want to. I'm like, no, this is good. I like in the sense of like, I have worked enough here in these 6 to 12 reps or whatever I'm doing. It's very subjective, right? And a lot of people, if you didn't grow up playing intense sports, your sense of how hard you can push yourself does need some figuring out and some talking through. And that's partly why I'm there with people to be like, nope, you can definitely lift more. I can tell by the fact that you're still talking to me that we're not at a 6. 6 should be hard enough that you have to focus on your breathing. And not everything's going to be a 6. Some stuff is going to be a 3 or a 4, and some things are going to be an 8. Like, we're going to be in a range where we're like, oh, fuck, I'm definitely done at fucking rep 10 or rep 6 or whatever the fuck. Like, or if we're doing heavy pulls for like 2 or 3 reps, like, you're going to be donezo by that 3rd one. And need to recover for 3 to 4 minutes, right? But it just really depends on intention. It's very, very nuanced. I wish there was like a good standard of like, this is what a 6 out of 10 feels like. But there isn't, because we all experience things sensorially. That's not a word, differently. You know what I mean? And then, like, I had a client with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome a while ago who, like, could not feel intensity, like, would not feel that she was working hard. I would give her so much weight, and like, the way her muscles contract and all, like, those kinds of like just physiological like medical conditions that we have can also really affect it. So it's very person to person. Yeah, 1 rep max is like because I haven't done one personally either, because even when I took the heaviest I've ever done a deadlift is 215. It's just nothing crazy, but it felt really heavy at the time. And like, you know, I'm only really a couple years into consistent heavy strength training realistically. And it's not been super consistent. Very good at providing it for other people, but it's hard. Sometimes we are not our own best, you know, we're not our own best coaches. We try. But I did like 3 or 4. I was like, oh, I could do a couple of these, right? But like going for a 1 rep max, I mean, that's just in the bracing. And also, like, I'm not going to put someone on a 1 rep max who doesn't already have a really good sense of their auto-regulation. Sorry, the music just went. Okay, good. Because it's really dangerous, because you have to know how to breathe and you have to know how to brace. So if somebody is experienced enough to know what their RPE feels like, there's somebody that I could probably take up to a 1 rep max. Someone who doesn't know, Absolutely not. Super fucking dangerous not doing that, because someone who doesn't know hasn't had enough experience strength training. Strength training is a sport. Like anything else, it needs a lot of skill and a lot of experience. So I'm very careful with stuff like that. Honestly, just like, I don't know. Also, it should be fun too. Like, again, that can be really fun, but it's a lot of work. And it's also, you have to deal with the fact that if you go to do a 1 rep max, you might fucking fail it. And that makes, you have to be mentally and physically prepared for those kinds of things to know that it's not a failure, even if you can't pick it up. There's like, it's a whole deal. The whole deal. Main love of the gym is just throwing plates, and found warm up things to do, to be wasting time before the fun stuff. Yay. Ooh, I've heard of Dorian Yates, but don't know very much about him. I'll have to look him up because I've heard his name, but I don't know anybody famous. I'm chronically like out of the loop. Why have I heard that name? Which gym is he? Can you explain how you gauge RP? Yeah. So Yates is the man when I was lifting building before my back injury with leg press. Oh yeah. Mixed in his philosophy from his book. Cool. I know he's famous because I've heard his name. Gosh. End of your current goal, 350. Okay. Nice. 160 kilogram. That's amazing. Pellet cannon. Yes. Static holds and thing. Yep. Doing pauses, doing fast bench. I know I've learned a ton from E-Robs, a friend of mine who's amazing. She's in the server, who is a competitive power lifter. Like, is incredible and knows a ton, and she does all sorts of variations like that again, I'm definitely not any arrogant enough in any way to tell you that I know something when I don't. And there's a lot about powerlifting that I don't know. You have to train to failure there because no, sometimes it's fun. But no, 6 is good. We also think because we want to do things well. Training to failure, it starts getting real shitty sometimes. It gets real wacky. 6-time Mr. Olympia. Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh yeah, I've seen him. Okay, great. I mean, those dudes know what's up. Deadlift absolutely took me out for a whole week. Yeah, I bet. That's amazing though. I'm fucking proud of you. Booth, I wish I had a better explanation for how to gauge it. It really is just, like I said, it's like if you had to do more reps, how many more could you do? And a lot of it, that's where it gets really helpful having a coach, because I can see it. I have a good eye already for like, oh, we're way too heavy, or I can give you 5-10 more pounds or whatever, because I can just tell by how people look when they're exerting. Unless they have a medical condition like Ehlers-Danlos or something like that aside, because Danlers. Shit. Fuck, you think I fucking know what I'm talking about? My brain garbles things. But yes, so also Squidward, we think that Slutty Zumba is your next stripper name, by the way. Okay, I've just been talking and not doing anything for a really long time, so let me go through this all one more time. Barbell back squats on day 1 with bent over rows, and then we're also going to sneak in hip thrusts as an accessory. They're not going to be super heavy. Those I got pretty heavy. They were at the gym. They were like 230 or something. So I'll be able to do those at like 150 or even 120 for 3 reps of 10. I can also band the knees if I want them to be a little more challenging, but they're definitely going to be accessory. Main lift is going to be back squats with a row as an accessory. I didn't fucking swap out this Meadows row. I'm gonna have to think about that. I just have 2 kettlebells. They're not super heavy. And I've got the bar and I've got bands. I've got hella fucking bands. Wouldn't be a terrible, I don't have any bicep or tricep, but I also don't have any, I don't have anything I could do banded curls or something. I don't know. I think I'm just going to delete it for now. I don't want to do that much, you guys. That's always an option. You can do less. If I think of something else I want to add in later, I will, but I don't. I'll be fine. It's good. I also demo so much stuff during the week. I get in all sorts of reps all over the place. Okay, then we've got our cool down. Great. I know this is like a hot mess, but I like the notes from Jackie about the mad tendon. The mad tendon. I'm also going to sneak in some cat cow here because it's good all the time. Yeah, especially because I swapped out pigeon pose and I like to stretch a little bit. And cat cow is great for getting in touch with your breath pattern. We're a fan. Single leg RDLs. I've been doing my PT for this will be the 2nd full week already. So I do think those will be okay. And then eccentric push-ups will also be fine. Those feel good. Closed chain feels good. Landmine feels good for my shoulder, but, and actually I did some barbell bench presses today, just demoing at 45 pounds, like just with the bar, and they felt completely fine. So those will be okay at some point, but we're still going to be thinking like at least 3 times volume row to pushing for stuff as this goes on. Shoulder PT, we'll do that after our muscle primers. And then this day also keeping pretty chill. RDLs and crunches will go fast. Goblet squats will be nice. And then banded wall sits also, 30 seconds. I just did I'll probably be able to do a minute. We'll see how it goes. And then we've got landmine shoulder press for a little bit of pressing and also some arms. So this day actually might take slightly longer. We'll see. And then block 2, calves, plyo, more strength-based set rep scheme. We've got a lot of 3x10s, 3x8s. You'll probably see some 4x6s, 5x5s down the road, especially because I don't have a ton of equipment yet. We'll get some dumbbells next year. But yeah, that's great. All right, let's do Marlon. Let's do Marlon. Marlon. I'm just going to put it in here and I'll give him his own later. So, priorities. Marlon is a natural athlete, cross-country runner, soccer player, tons of sports growing up, very active when we met. And like a lot of people we all know in our 30s and up, work and trying to get enough rest and downtime and relaxation from work becomes a priority. And he has a decently physical job. He's on his feet a lot, but definitely strength-wise, he's deconditioned in that way, which is very normal. And he also is starting to deal with some limited range of motion in his shoulder, which was a little unexpected. I went to have him do like just an upward, just like hold his arm up, but he got to like here. And I was like, wow, that's not good. So we're going to be really mindful of that. He's going to go see Jackie, again, our PT that we love so much. I'm just shouting out, if you live around here and you're injured, go to Jackie. But his priorities are going to be, we're going to be stress reduction, total body. We're just going to say strength and mobility. These are very, very general, but it's still good to be like, all right, what are we doing? And once I get more information from Jackie about things that he should be focusing on, and again, I do the levels up to a PT, I think very well. That's basically my specialty at this point is helping work around pain points. That's like my jam is like, all right, something hurts. Let's find a way that it doesn't hurt, that helps you build strength in that area. That's pretty much most of what I do. And I really, really like it. Aside from just also trying to be like accessible and make things really attainable, because I don't want to overface people. I don't like that. I want this to be fun. So this stress reduction, total body strength, mobility, we're going to be hitting basic movement patterns. We're looking at once per week. Once per week. 45 minutes. Easy. We're going to be looking at just keeping it super, super straightforward. All right. This is actually a really great one for any of you who are like, I'm really thinking about getting back into strength training. If you have a history of like, if you've been at a gym before, this is not like the most basic one because it like is predicated on the fact that he has some former knowledge in this area. So if you have like zero strength training experience, this might be a little bit too much without a coach, but with a coach, it would be completely fine. We're going to do my classic. We're going to do a squat pull day. And we're going to do really simple shit for him as well. We're going to be his hips are fine. We're going to foam roll hips. We're going to foam roll glute or foam roll, foam rolly. I'm getting sleepy. A fallout's going to be fun later. Foam roll T-spine. I'm doing great. Foam roll T-spine. He's going to get some cat-cow as well. And some rear foot elevated hip flexor stretch. And some bird dogs. And then probably some drop downs. A super easy variation. Yep. And then I'm going to keep him on. We're going to not really think about it as muscle primers. I'm probably going to give him a circuit. So we're going to start with, let's see, what do I want to be working on for Marlon? We're going to hit some squats to the bench. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write him an A day and a B day, and they're going to swap each week. So week 1 on Saturday or Sunday, or, whenever, he's going to do squat pull day. The next week he'll do hinge push. It might not seem like enough, but it definitely is. And it definitely can help support movement patterns throughout the rest of your work week. I'm going to ditch my sweatshirt. This music is very silly. Yeah. What shirt do I have on? I think I have my kettlebell shirt on, which I like a lot. That was a really fun class. Functional kettlebell training. Highly recommend. But I'm going to give him, again, very, very straightforward. And I want this to be something that he can basically get some feel good movement in warming up and then do like 5 exercises 3 times. Just go through without having to think too hard, without having to like really set up a lot of prep. Squats to bench. We're going to hit some single leg reverse lunges, just fine. Single leg implied. I'm bad about that. Reverse lunges with hand assist. That's just with balance. Ah! We'll do 8 per side. I'm going to put him on some single arm banded rows. Establishing movement pattern. Doesn't have to be super hard. A lot of this won't feel really challenging. This will all probably be an RPE of like 4. RPE 4 to 6 max. Because sometimes you just need to move things intentionally in a way that is structured, that helps reinforce good movement pattern, good muscle contraction, good breath. This is stuff that really, really matters. It doesn't have to feel that hard. That's a big thing. It doesn't have to feel that hard. Former powerlifter in your gym that showed you how to squat and deadlift. First look at it was, yeah, I'm telling you, like I always defer to my clients. I'm very much like, how does this feel? Until I'm like, you can do a little more. It's okay. Because also it's a very safe and structured environment with me. Like, you fucking trying to bench press a little more, I'll catch that bar if it's too heavy. I got you. Where's the beach? Oh, girl the beach. I could girl the beach. I thought she was in here. She is not. She'll come back in a minute. Former coach is good at watching engagement. Yes. It can be really difficult on our own too. I've gotten a lot better at it just because I think about it and talk about it all the time. But even then, like, there's plenty of times where I back off. Like, I'm a little more inclined to be like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't. I'm going to give Marlon a little more upper body stuff. Because everyone likes their glamour muscles. That'll just be standing on the band. That can be 3 by 12 because those will be easy. And then I'm going to have him do some core. Starting out, I know we got a little bit of dead bug or bird dogs in the start, but that actually means that I'll put him on some dead bugs. Legs only. Super, super straightforward. 3 by 10 per side. And I may adjust this a little bit as depending on how he feels. He has an advantage of being able to go through this stuff with me in person. But that's it. Like, so when we're thinking about like setting up a simple circuit, it doesn't have to be anything more complicated than that. We've got like less than a 10-minute warm up, covers a lot of basics, gets you feeling good and in touch with your body and breath. And then 5 things we do 3 times. Easy. Hinge push. Maybe normal glutes. Again, assuming that we don't have any pain points. Cat cow. I'm actually going to put him on some glute bridges here, just body weight, which also does a little bit of core activation. We're a fan. And then some squishy jacks. I'm giving him a little shorter warm up just for sake of like also remembering it. It'll all be in the app and stuff too, but it's nice if you just know it. So one more thing I'd like to do. What do I want? He could do, after glute bridges, some standing pec stretch. Just a little bit. Or maybe I want him to... trying to think about that shoulder. Because, like, sometimes I don't really respond super well to, like, a lot of stretching up here. And just before I know what his shoulder stuff is, I think I'll just leave it at this. It has one less thing than up here, but that's fine. It doesn't all have to be perfect. That'll get you warm for what we're doing. We're going to think bodyweight hinge practice. Anyone who's worked with me, if you do not come in knowing how to do RDLs, this is where you start. And if these feel good and they look good, and I think that they're okay, then we graduate to RDLs or to good mornings. Good mornings will be really easy to do with our kettlebells. Will be easy. And they're very simple. And this is basically just a stretch, right? But this is very, very helpful for a lot of people who don't have good glute activation, which is a lot of people, is most of us, and who have low back discomfort, who are walking a lot. Like, get in that hinge position and enjoy it. Like, it can be super chill. By hinge practice, I'm going to have eccentric push-ups be a primary exercise for him, because he's coming in like fresh. We'll just do 6, nice and slow. Again, just focusing on that drop down to the floor, and then you just roll up nice and easy. We're not actually even going to be pushing away because it's pretty taxing on the shoulder and body. If eccentrics feel okay for him as well with his shoulder, that'll be groovy and gets that pattern taken care of. So we love that. I like to put triceps on the push day. I know it's still kind of a pull, but if you're going to, do one versus the other, you'll see me put biceps on the squat day if I'm going to do one, and then triceps on the other, which I think for him means that we'll do some banded tricep kickbacks. What is this music? Where'd we go? This is the long dark music. I kind of love it. Oh wait, here's some lo-fi gaming music though, which says no copyright. We'll see if we believe them. If I get a strike. Okay, that's fine. I was not sure. Kickbacks, and these will be single arm. And you can do these nice and light. You'll get a good burn. You'll get a good burn on them. I promise. We'll do, that'll be 12 per side as well. Keep them a little light, get a couple more reps in. As long as you don't have something like a hot, sad elbow, doing a couple more on those can feel really good. And then we're thinking, what are we missing? We've got single leg, we've got squat, we've got core, we've got, which is just random, but we've got a hinge, we've got a push, we know we've got a pull because we have rows, so we need a carry if that's an option. I actually one that I really like, we'll do a single arm kettlebell standing marches. Marches are super fucking underrated. They are so fucking good for a lot of different things. They're just a weird one. I feel like they don't give a very satisfying burn. They don't give like a lot of core feedback. Like we all love a core exercise that makes our abs specifically or our obliques feel really, really spent. Standing marches just they're not as interesting. You're standing and you're marching, but it's a lot of balance. It gets single leg in, it gets hip flexor, it gets low abs, it gets columnar strength with your spinal column. You get obliques especially if you're doing single arm, because you have to keep yourself from tipping. You get a little bit of carrying, so a little grip strength, even if it's not that heavy. They're really, really good. They do a lot of stuff. So we'll say 3 times 30 seconds per side, which will be quite a bit, but will be really good. And then I would finish on some, oh, my dog just made a really sad sound. Don't worry, Zeke, we're almost done. Zeke sweatshirt now. Yes. I would say the last thing we want to do is maybe some calves or an iso hold. This is going to be pretty chill though. Again, especially when I toss in that bodyweight hinge practice, I know that it's going to be a little less overall exertion, but like that's also fine. It's still really good for you. I'd be thinking just like, yeah, calf raises, hand assist. See if there's anything that I'm missing. It's 20. Just with both legs. Because I just want to get everything once. Yeah, and that gets just about everything once, especially with the warm-ups. We've got our squat, we've got single leg, which is lunge, row, and then hinge, push, carry, and then some accessories. And that is something that most people, again, with some variations based around your anatomy and injury history and all that, this is something that most people can do. And that's what I like to see. I want something that's going to be really chill and really straightforward. Zeke is so sad. The heck are twitchy jacks? They're really fast jumping jacks. You do 5 of them like as fast as you can. And it's a nervous system activator. So it just makes you really fucking awake because you're basically, you're moving as quickly as you can and just going like firing muscles as quickly as you can. And it just makes your body go, are we under attack? In like a good way that is structured. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about that. I'm going to switch over to my camera here in a second though. I'll go through this all one more time. Again, go back to our priorities, stress reduction. Dude needs to just feel a little better. This kind of structured movement that's not too challenging, that gets you moving intentionally, feeling and connecting with your body in a way that's really supportive, that takes care of some basics, that makes your sitting up and you're standing and you're going up and down stairs and you're pushing and you're pulling of things a little bit easier because you've had this time where you've checked in with it, where you've done it on purpose in a way that was very meaningful. That makes it easier to do the rest of our lives and helps prevent injury. And it's just good for our brains. It's good for our bodies. It's good for our nervous system. We're a big fan. Once per week, 45 minutes or less. And we're really going to be, a lot of this will be a 4. Some of it might be a 3. Like the hinge practice is basically like, you could just like do those all day. But like reverse lunges, you will be shocked if you are deconditioned and you have come back and you have done reverse lunges or tried to do any lunge. It can fucking be super hard. Very, very hard. Lateral lunges, anything on a single leg can be a humbling experience. So that's why 4 to 6 average will be just fine. We've got a good warm up that mostly is oriented around feel good, but still targeted, takes care of a couple things that we are wanting to focus on. We're not doing any muscle primers because we're going to be keeping things light, and I'll be encouraging him to kind of pyramid up. So starting with body weight or lightweight, and then the second set going up a little bit if he feels comfortable and feeling good. And then the third set could go up a little bit more as well. You won't see that strategy with like powerlifting, obviously, although sometimes you will. You'll see like a pyramid up and a decrease in reps. You know, you'll be at like 50% for 6 reps, and then you'll go up to 60 and 70 and so on. So you'll see it occasionally. But sometimes people like to start a little heavier. I like to pyramid up because it, again, gives you a chance to gauge how you're doing and how heavy you can go and how much you can exert. Because as somebody who has experienced nervous system like fry for the first time this year, I have stepped into the gym knowing that my working weight was like 160 for something and gotten the bar to my warm-up weight at 115 and been like, holy shit, I can't fucking do this. Because my body is just like, stop doing stuff. So if you ever experience something like that and you're not like that, like actively sick or anything, like I was worried about some long COVID stuff with a little bit of that, but I think it was mostly just my nervous system was like, fucking stop. And those are important things to listen to. And that's why we take breaks and we do things a little bit differently. So squats, reverse lunges, rows, got a bunch of different bands. Easy to do with curls as well. Dead bugs, hip flexors, quads, good shit. I might actually, I don't have him on, I'm going to change this right now to bear plank hold because I don't have him on an ISO hold. And I'll probably start him with bear plank knee ups, which isn't an ISO hold, but gets you ready to do the hold a little longer. Yeah, because that sneaks in some pressing, pushing mechanic stuff. I guess that wouldn't be a bad one. Now I'm like overthinking everything. It's classic because it also doesn't really matter and it doesn't have to be perfect because you can do stuff at another time. Let's go back to the dead bugs. Yeah, never mind. Let's just leave it. It was fine. Don't touch it. Hands off the chest piece. That's fine. We'll do that for the hip flexor stuff and for just lower abdominal strength building. It's a little similar in some ways to the standing marches, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Sets them up pretty well overall and gives some variety. And I like that this sneaks in the carries. But yeah, all right, day 2, good shit. Again, super chill, foam roll a little bit, stretch a little bit, do some glute bridges, do some fast fucking jumping jacks, and then do a couple simple things. Yeah, my only thing, getting up off and down the mat, something else I consider for people, he'll be fine. Some people it is a consideration. I like to do, if you're getting down onto the floor, I'll have you do multiple things down there, but he'll be all right to jump up and down. I think this looks pretty good. So that's all, folks. That's what we got. Meet halfway. Dead bears. Yes. Dead bears legs only. Dead bears arms only. Yeah, excellent. All right, let me catch up on chat a little bit. That's all. That's what I got from Marlon. This will be 8 weeks. This is day 1, A day, B day. They'll alternate. And if he's able, if he has a week where he can do both, he can fucking do both. Like, that's fine. And he doesn't have to be for a full 8 weeks, but this is designed to be like, what's something that you can achieve? He's gone 12 hours a day, most days right now, working 6 days a week a lot. Like, he does not have the time or the energy to do a bunch of shit. There is a gym at his work. It's a little bit limited, but that would be the only other thing I would consider is adding in like, hey, walk for 15 minutes on the treadmill before you come home just to decompress. Something really, really chill. Like, not a lot, because I know that they have cardio equipment there. That'd be the only thing. Otherwise, this is the kind of thing that we think about when we start out. We've hit a little bit of everything and it's not a lot. Because what's the advice? What did Jackie say? Where is it? Remember, you want less good things when you're dealing with pain and also dealing with stress and also dealing with bullshit. You want 5 good exercises versus 17 that don't support your current needs. Refer back to that anytime. All right. Good job, everybody. 5:22. Good. I'll perfectly have like a nice little break before we get into Fallout time. We love Fallout time. Let me make sure that I didn't miss anything important. Oh, Nightstorm. Oh yeah, he was a good role model because even though he was on roids, we're talking about Dorian Yates. Yeah, I know. So I know that my coworkers have talked about him now. I was like, why do I know this guy? Trained like a powerlifter in off season for bulking. So he still had routines that led to strength gains with muscle building. Well, and like a lot of people who do that are on steroids. Like a lot. Oh, and Cash, I missed this comment that got highlighted, which is hilarious. I'm so sorry. Oh, also, did you notice that I changed the currency? They're Bejeweled now, and it's got a little jewel. I thought Bejeweled was funny because it sounds like Bejeweled. And also Family Jewels, kind of, which is also silly. Just happy that despite being sedentary with health issues, my weight has stayed the same for the past 2 years. Nice. Well, and that's like having a little consistency in something like that. It just makes everything a little bit easier. We know you like to cook and you make good food, and we have to, I don't know, like shit like that is just hard. And a lot of it is really out of our control. And we have to think about the things that are within our fucking level of affordability, access, time, energy. Like, so much of the health industry is the most ableist, privileged bullshit in the whole fucking planet. And I get really sick of it. I don't shout about this like this at work very much because I want to just be kind of like normal and nice. And my coworkers are very cool and mostly very progressive around this. But I worry about alienating people and seeming like too much of a crazy radical, except for when I'm on my stream and then I don't give a shit. So this is what we do. But it's really, there's so much blame, and this is done intentionally by marketing. Like, blame is foisted onto us so that we will feel bad, so that we will spend money on things that are promising us solutions when the solutions usually are very complex. They're often very straightforward. It's often, again, we think back to like band up those knees for wall sits so that my glutes get a little more active because I've got lateral hip weakness. It's often something that's like, oh yeah, duh, that's cool. Is it something fucking fancy? No. Same thing with food. What do you think I'm supposed to be doing right now for food stuff? I'm seeing a nutrition coach who just graduated. Sarah, congratulations. She just has to take her exam to be a registered dietitian. She's amazing. What am I supposed to be doing? Eating more fruits and vegetables. Great. I was already doing all right. I think I was doing above average. Still wasn't quite enough. But also then we think about, I have fuck tons of time. I have plenty of income. I have access to whatever I need. I can fucking drive. I can prep things. I can order things, whatever. It's very complicated. So I'm just proud of you for just feeling good and having some good consistency. And also I know you work a fucking lot and deal with a lot. And like figuring out how to be more active gets to be slow and steady and gets to be little things. It gets to be really small things that feel good. It gets to be a couple minutes of dancing. It gets to be walking, it gets to be biking. It gets to be stretching, like chill stretching stuff that counts. It gets to be gardening. It gets to be just being more active in your home, like setting a timer to get up from gaming more regularly. Little things like that. That's what adds up, because it's the little things in the inverse that also can add up in deleterious ways, like sitting too much or like moving less because we can't find a good way to move that doesn't cause pain. Like that's where we need to reach out for help. Please message me anytime too. Please message me anytime. Like I will always give you advice, especially if you are in pain, even if you're not paying for my services. If you need help with something now, I will help you. And if you want to work with me, you always can, but I don't expect that especially from people who are already here supporting me. If you want to, I'm here. And if you know people, send them my way. I'm always taking clients, but my first instinct always is to want to help. So if you need advice on something, you reach out. Well, and like, poor Jackie, who is amazing and I love so much. Like, I know that I've had people in the community be like, hey, Claire, I'm having this weird pain thing. And I'll be like, let me talk to the PT. Because Jackie is so patient and kind with me being like, Jackie, I have a question about a person you've never met. Let me see if I can describe it. And she'll give me really, really good feedback because she just knows so much more than me. It's crazy. So if you ever have questions, I have a really good pipeline to like an actual medical professional. So also, Granny, I didn't mean to miss you. Hello. I got distracted by the heck are twitchy jacks? I know I'm going back a little bit. Serratus anterior. Oh, yes. That's a good thing to think about, though. My serratus anterior needs a lot of work, especially on this side. Also, do you see this is a thing? So when I talk about like little things, Jackie would be shouting at me because it's like this arm gets annoyed with being like twisted up too much. And she's like, bitch, why are you standing like this? Why are you like twisting your arm up and standing and being like, why does my shoulder hurt? I'm not cranking it in a weird position. So if you ever see me be like, fucking stop, Claire, put your fucking hands down. And while I sit with like one leg up, like cross my legs all weird all the time. And it's like, oh, why is my left hip legs hurt? It's not because I'm wedging it under my other leg all day and then being like tense. You know, it's fine. It's fine if your body feels good. But if you're like me and your body's like, yeah, tendons, pain, then we got to be careful. How do I get Amanda? Squidward, I'm just doing this shit with my arm again. Let's do it on the other side. Let's fuck this one up instead. That's the secret. Then they'll both be broken and it'll even out. Squidward, I don't know how every man who meets you doesn't love you. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I think they need to change. All the other men need to change and they need to love you if they don't now. I don't understand how they wouldn't. You're incredible. Oh yeah, Granny, loving this split single leg deadlift. Yeah, are you doing like a kickstand or a split squat? Sciatic. Well, in sciatic stuff, sciaticas is actually that's actually something that a lot of specific stretches for sciatica tend to really help. I actually don't tend to see people doing split stance a lot for sciatica. If we're having low back and hip issues, we see more like what I'm doing, which is planted feet. But again, everybody is really different. And especially if that's been prescribed to you by somebody that's like, hey, specifically for your anatomy, for what you deal with, for your sciatic issues, for where your body's at, that's great. We can almost never copy paste. We try. We really try. But yes, therapy kitten, movement quality over movement quantity. That's a little shit. That's a little pie. Your cooking is amazing, Cash. All right, gang. Yes. Well, and like supplements are like, I use creatine. Supplements is a fucking wormhole. We can definitely talk about that another time. Some people do really benefit from like vitamin D supplementation. But what do we see with vitamin D a lot? We see crazy, weird fucking anti-vaxxer bullshit saying that if you take shit tons of vitamin D, it'll fucking cure COVID, and blatant fucking lies. Also, vitamin D is one that you can overdose on. Your body stores it. So some people don't have enough or don't store enough at certain times because of access to sunlight or like, time of year, whatever. So vitamin D supplementation can be super helpful for daily function, especially for bone density and a lot of other things. But do you need to take it all the time? Like check in with your doctor on that stuff always, even with things like creatine. Make sure it's good with your doctor. Any supplementation, some stuff is really helpful, but it really like get it from a medical professional, because we know the supplement industry is not regulated. It is not. They are not medications. They are not verified, especially in this day and age. Like they make sure that they have their own independent certifications and verifications. Like be fucking careful. Be really, really careful with them. I've definitely gone through phases where I've used them, all sorts of different things. And like, I take right now, I'll tell you exactly what I take. I do creatine, I do calcium, I do vitamin D, and I do a hair and nails, like a biotin complex. And that's it. I have gone through times where I've taken more, but I don't know that I take them to cover my bases. I don't take them to solve a problem, right? And creatine, I notice a big difference when I don't, like I noticed an increase in muscle gains when I was started taking creatine initially, and it does help with recovery, but how much of a difference, like what percentage difference, it really varies person to person. Sarah, the nutritionist, also a great coach, personal trainer, gave me a supplement she's in school. She's going to be a registered dietitian like this month. So when she was like, hey, she researched this supplement against my current medications and made sure that there weren't any weird intermixing and all that shit. And it has like ashwagandha and a couple other, like, I think it has some holy basil and shit that makes you kind of chill out. So that I take, and it does make me really chill out and helps me sleep. So all sorts of, but some of them are okay. Some of them are okay and they help. And again, if you find one that you take that you notice a difference, especially if it's not fucking making you go bankrupt, if it doesn't have a bad effect, like, I don't care. Like, if it helps you, it helps you. And like, there's all sorts of different ways. I just know like we like taking protein powder, that's supplementation of protein. So I think like I'm very generous with the term, but lots of stuff just not really needed. Gosh, bladder is my gaming timer at home. Yeah, that might, I would get up like at least changing the position you're sitting in once an hour is a good rule of thumb. Ideally, you get up and move around for like even 60 seconds once an hour. I know that I don't always do that, but also, standing does. Yeah. Use bacon grease instead of lotion. Ooh, yum. Super weird hips. Okay. Ballet. Awesome. Yes. So there you go. Good. Well, and like that you found the thing that your body needed to help it build strength and reduce pain in the right way. That's beautiful. And a really good physical therapist often, and also hopefully really good coaches help with that too. Vitamin D's nuts. Yes. Suck it. Pelican nailed it. Pelican, do you watch me with this arm? Now you're not ever going to be able to see me not cranking this arm up and wondering why it hurts. Hydrate. Okay, I'm going to hydrate and then we're going to raid, and then I will be back on in about 30 minutes. Thank you all so much for hanging out while I just talk fitness and things. I will be doing the first workout next week, Monday or Tuesday. I'll at least get one in before the end of the year. It is pouring fucking rain outside. I can hear it. PT and personal trainer for exercise to help strength and stretch and strengthen. Yeah, perfect. Good. Awesome. It seemed like you knew what you were talking about, as you usually do. Custom formula creatine from Russian. That might have just been steroids. That sounds very scary. Also, because creatine is it's just an amino acid. It's just like it's just a thing. There's not like this creatine has these 4 ingredients. It's just a single ingredient. I'll look it up right now. So that's, yeah. Oh, sorry. No, it's 3 amino acids. Excuse me. I'm being dumb, but it's just amino acids. It's just amino acids. Okay. Like that's, sorry. Please forgive me when I'm being dumb. It's just that. It's not like someone has a different one than someone else, or they shouldn't. Oh, thank you, Granny. I have a lot more than I need to post. I should be doing that today, but instead I'm like, nah, I'll stream. That's making content. Hooray. Cash, that's hilarious. So I'm really glad they didn't die. Wells and Bloods was, he's considered bottom. Okay, supplements are great for you. Funny that you're where you live too. I feel like you get a lot of sunshine. But also if you don't, like, I don't go outside that much. So, can you hear this fucking rain? His biceps were as big as his head, but it was all water retention. I mean, also, if you take fuck tons of creatine, it does weird shit to you. So, like, take the right amount. Yes. Taking this creatine for months, didn't notice anything different, even after I stopped taking it. Well, and, like, I noticed a little bit of a difference. There's some corollary studies that show it has, like, a cognitive boost as well. But, again, like, I don't know. I noticed a little difference. But right now, I don't really notice a difference because I'm not training very heavily. Oh, Jabba's on. Oh, Juice is on. Juice is on with Mango Moonbeam. Good rage. I'm fucking stopping doing this with my arm. Oh, Fallout for Hope is also on. No, they were on earlier. I will try to raid them later this week if they're still on. Yeah, let's raid Juice because we raided Mango Moonbeam last time. I think that seems like a good plan. If nobody is opposed, I will set that up and get us out of here. And then I will be back on in a little bit. I definitely have a PT voice in my head. Jackie's the shit. Jackie out here keeping all of us unbroken. The Unbroken Academy. She's also just like extremely fun. All my coworkers are really fun. They're all great. They all do different things. I love and appreciate them very much. Let's see how much, I think, yeah, Juice is good. Let me copy and paste this. God damn it. And yeah, I'm going to take a 30-minute break. And I'm streaming again later. I'm going to take a 30-minute break and then I will be back on. This didn't copy the J. That's very funny. Weestus. I'll be back on in about 30 minutes to play some Fallout New Vegas. So I'm going to just like get changed and have a snack. And Holy Basil is your new stripper name. Squidward. Also Holy. I like the with the E. Very good. In case anyone in the VOD didn't catch that as it scrolled by a few minutes ago, that it's HOLEY. Holy Basil. You all are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Booth. How many fucking months? 42 months. Thank you so much. And Pelicana, thank you for the hydrate. And thank you for sharing all of your awesome strength training stories. Thank you to everybody that stayed and hung out. I'm going to get this raid going. And I'll see you all back in a little bit. I just need a little break. And then we'll play some New Vegas. We'll do what we really came here to do. All right. I'm looking over at my streaming shit so I can click on the right thing. Thank you all. Look forward to those gym streams next week. And have a great 30 minutes. I'll see you soon.